That's all I fuck with, Chris. It's chronic. Saw some of the shit you were talking about earlier, but water and chronic, people. Water and chronic.
Some people like water and chronic. Some people like water.
That's what most people. That's what most people stick to. I can't believe that Chris actually. You don't think that most people just do weed and that's it?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I thought that once upon a time. I thought that until I was like about 24, 25. So I started seeing like everybody like just doing other shit everywhere.
The only time I've ever seen people do other drugs is when I used to work at Merrill Lynch. A lot of those young males that work there, they used to do a lot of coke. But other than that, I've never seen anybody just pull out like drugs randomly and just do them other than weed.
Yes.
Nah, people popping pills like a motherfucker. People are seriously popping pills.
Oh, okay, pill popping, yeah. But I've never
that shit is real. That's just the future of drugs in general.
It's not even the future. It's now.
Yeah, no, well. What I'm saying is, like, now when I go into the dispensary, I see a lot of cannabis tablets.
Really?
Yeah. So people are popping cannabis tablets or weed pills, whatever you want to call them. But the ingestion of drugs that's the future.
Yeah, weed syrup. All that stuff.
All that shit.
All right, we got a little off topic, but listen, we got other topics that. What'd you say?
I said, you damn druggies.
Yeah. Oh, it was shocking, but all right. So the Knicks are in the playoffs. Everybody's happy about that, which is a good thing. People who claim they're not happy still like to talk about it. But the Knicks announced that they are, for the next round, that they're exclusively selling their tickets to people who have been vaccinated. Good idea or bad idea?
I think we called it
first
year.
of all, they shouldn't say shit about the next round because they're fucking down. They're 1-2, and they just got stomped. So I don't know why they would be making any declarations on the next round.
You saying they lost tonight?
Number one.
So they did lose tonight?
Yeah.
You got to understand that it's really not that big of a deal to try to diss a Knicks fan for losing in the playoffs. They made it to the playoffs. The Knicks haven't been a great
with house money. We playing with house money.
They haven't been to the playoffs in 15 years. So no one expected. No one expected the Knicks to get in the playoffs. So
absolutely. Don't listen to this guy. Don't listen to this guy.
Make sense.
Well, y'all went crazy yesterday. Fucking burning up shit when y'all won one playoff game like the fucking y'all.
Who was burning up what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I wasn't burning up. I was home.
Okay, spitting on players.
I was home.
That was bad. That wasn't. Yeah, that was.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, that was.
People who do that shit deserve whatever they get.
That's
Beyond, I want to touch on that subject you said, but I just want to say, New York, you deserve that L for spitting on Trae Young.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
About the COVID thing, my only concern is I wonder where HIPAA stands on this whole forcing people to provide their medical information to enter a building.
That's not forcing people to provide their medical information. What they're saying is
you cannot go.
You can just not go, right? Because remember, these are private companies, right? So if you purchase the ticket, you're agreeing to provide your information.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, where does HIPAA stands in the transfer of information from one person to another? Who am I giving my medical information to? Am I giving it to a person that's authorized and keeping medical records, or are they just going to look at it? I mean,
but the whole thing with HIPAA is if you agree to do it, then isn't it fine? If you agree
even if you agree, there's supposed to be a safe transfer of information. My question is, if I'm giving this person my medical information, what are they doing with it?
Well, the answer is they're going to say we're not recording it. It's a verification.
So therefore, you can just come in with a fake one.
Yeah, because it's not a requirement.
They're not recording the information. First of all, they already got your name, your number, your credit card. You made a purchase. You bought a ticket. Now, with said ticket, you need to show proof you're vaccinated. That little vaccination card, that's all you got to do. You show that, you Gucci.
Yeah, they already got the
So
HIPAA.
that really don't got nothing to do with HIPAA at that point.
All the laws and structures they have covered already and paid for. It's the influence that they have because I'm against it. I'm against the vaccination. I always have been, but I'm not gonna lie. If when they tell me in order to go see the Eagles play, I have to get a vaccine, I'm gonna think about getting a vaccine. Because I'm so invested in the Eagles. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm being 100% honest. Because I'm actually thinking about it now.
Listen, I'm vaccinated, so to each their own. You know,
I understand that.
I think it's beyond the future of sports. It's the new world.
Just like, listen, how I see it is just like religion, politics, all of that shit. I don't push beliefs on anybody, or not even what I believe, but decisions. Because sometimes you make decisions, they're not necessarily your fucking beliefs, but you got to look at it and you got to make a business decision. Like, shit, do I got to do this because it's going to get in the way of X, Y, Z and all of that other shit.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Requiring
whether someone
people
wants
to be
do it or not.
vaccinated is not a new thing. I think what, I don't know, it's my opinion, but I think that where it's becoming an issue is because it's for adults versus kids, because we do it for kids all the time. This is not like a new thing, but I don't think that we've ever required kids. Like think about it. We're supposed to go get tetanus shots and booster shots after we become adults. No one just makes us do it. But I think now to make people say, hey, if you're going to come around me, you need to be vaccinated. I think that is where people are starting to have the issue with it. But do you think that it's going to move that way for all the sporting events, or do you guys think that they're just going to test it out? Maybe it won't.
No,
work.
it absolutely could. It absolutely could. Absolutely.
You might have to, in order to get to a strip club, have to be vaccinated.
Absolutely. Now it depends, because I'm not saying it will, but I'm saying you will see certain venues, certain states, certain places. You know, you'll see that shit. And you got to remember, New York's a liberal state, so you know it'll probably be more prevalent in liberal states. You know, New York, California. You know,
you can easily
shit
say
like
you need
that.
to protect your athletes. You need to protect your star athletes. You need to protect your star celebrities. That their health is your main priority. So you can easily say that. You don't want to get the players affected. So you have to be vaccinated.
Do you think football will follow suit if it works?
Yes, absolutely. I think they're going to follow suit soon. That's going to be the new rule. I think coming soon.
Would you feel more safe if you're going to these games and everyone's vaccinated, or would you just not go if everyone's not vaccinated? Like, at some point, the world has to open up. And if people don't feel comfortable going, then what other options do they have other than to make people be vaccinated? Like, what else do you do?
I would go to games. I would go to football games, and I would go to basketball games. At this point, like in the next couple of months, like I feel a lot better just in general. I would go to games.
I just don't trust that vaccine. It's just hard for me to trust it still. But I'm not gonna lie, I've been thinking twice about it.
Oh, I'm getting vaccinated. I wasn't before, but after having COVID, I don't want to go through that again. So I made up my mind. I'm getting vaccinated.
About that.
I'm holding strong.
It was hard to deal with.
COVID is a punk bitch. God, motherfucker.
It was too much. Yeah. I couldn't handle it. So I plan on getting vaccinated, and I would go. I would go. I just don't know how I feel about walking around with a card. Because when I think of walking around with a card and proof of vaccination, I think of like South Africa and apartheid and them having to like I don't like that idea of the whole showing papers. I always think of like slavery and shit like that.
I definitely don't like that idea. And I don't even carry my shit. I don't even think about it. I don't carry it. No one ever asked me about it.
Yeah, so, I would rather have like something.
Oh, we'll be bringing this topic back up again. It's going
to provide. This is the future.
Basketball Subway Series, pretty dope. So did you guys see Bill Cosby was denied probation? He was denied parole rather, not probation, and he has to stay in jail. for how much longer does he have? I didn't mean to check that.
Well, it was 3 to 10. So I think he's probably been in there close to 3 years. I think he was trying to finish out his sentence on probation, but he didn't want to take the offender program, or either he missed it somehow, whatever the case was. So because he missed it, they denied his probation.
He didn't miss it. He denied it. He didn't want to do it. Yeah, he didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to. He didn't want to register it as what he was.
So he says Cosby must participate in and complete institutional programs. So I guess there's some sort of programs that he has to do, and he didn't create a parole release plan. So they denied him. And so I guess if he doesn't do this, he likely could die in jail at this point. So do you think he should just do it or stand his ground?
Of course he should just do it. Of course he should just do it. Of course.
Everybody knows he's guilty anyway. Shit. So go ahead and
register. Of course. It's not even about, it's not even about being guilty. If you've been through the system, or you know how the system works, if you had friends, family in jail, which I've had fucking many, sometimes when you copping out and you want to get out, you got to do programming. You got to do programming. You got to do work release. You got to do programming. I know dudes that like went on paper and admitted they were fiends so they could go to a drug program, do 6 months in the drug program and get the fuck out. Like there's all sorts of shit you do to come home. So if you really want to come home, you do what you got to do. And what they were asking him to do, it's not like he's registering. That motherfucker's already registered. He was convicted. So there's no doubt about labels here. That's simply him cooperating with a program they want him to do, so his ass can come home. So in my opinion, yeah, because you locked up any fucking way. Like, it doesn't make any sense. In my opinion, unless there's some shit I don't know. But on the surface, the way it looks, like, hell yeah, he should have done it.
You better sign the papers if you're a creep ass want to get out.
His spokesperson says, so it sounds like he's purposely not doing it because he
vehemently.
Thank you. He's proclaimed his innocence and continues to not deny all allegations made against him as being false. So he's looking to get his conviction vacated instead of doing these programs. He's trying to get it vacated. So it sounds like that's why he's purposely not doing it.
But if it means that if by doing these programs, he has to forego. So if they put him, between a rock and a hard place where, like, had he took those programs, then he can't do X, Y, Z or appeal, then I understand. That makes sense. However, whether you agree with that or not. But if it's a strategy where it's like they're saying, hey, you could do this, but if you do that, then you can't appeal, then I get it. Because if it is mine,
well, a lot of times in these programs, you have to admit what you did. Like, you have to, you have to admit what you did. You have to be sorry for it. You have to, empathize with.
Yeah.
So he would have to likely admit what he did, and you can't try to.
I get it.
I agree with Bill.
Everything innocent to the motherfucker.
I can't say whether or not he's innocent of rape of every woman. What I am saying is that person he's in jail for wanted to take the drugs with him. That's all I'm saying. Not saying that that's the reason you should be raped. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
What are you saying? So what are you saying?
Because this is what I'm saying. I think if two consenting adults partake in a drug experience that they know is going to make them more horny, then they probably walk themselves into that. I don't think that should be considered rape. I think it's something. I just don't think it's rape.
It is. You do know that. You do know that. You do know that.
I'm just not.
No, but you do know that. A lot of women said that they didn't know he put something in the drink. Like, you're aware of that, right?
That's why I prefaced the comment before I said I can't say what he did to other women.
I just want to make sure on record you're aware of that, my friend.
You also know that just because I take a drug doesn't mean I want to be raped.
That's why I said it.
But you just said that if it was somebody willingly takes a drug, that you got to know what could possibly happen.
No, I didn't say. See, you misconstrued what I said. I did not say willingly take a drug. I said that like for instance, if me and you take a drug, knowing that it's going to make us super sexually active, then we ask for kind of whatever the outcome is. Obviously, I wasn't controlling myself.
No, I didn't. If I take a drug that's gonna make me horny, I'm not asking to be raped. That's not what that means.
No, what I'm saying is what I'm saying
okay.
Because I don't want to get misconstrued. What I'm saying is, if two consenting adults take a drug that they know will make them behave in such a manner, and they take it together, then there are going to be some blurred lines. I don't think that should be called rape.
But I'm not sure that's what even happened, though.
I think it's a crime.
Would they take a bunch of Spanish fly and
the lady asked for that drug in particular, some Quavo. This motherfucker just happened to have some. So they both enjoy some.
So
then she said she got raped
15 times. Because he had like 15 cases.
I prefaced it again. I can't say what he did to the other women, but the one he's in jail for is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But I get what you're saying.
I think it should be called something else. I think it should be called something else. I don't know if that's
it wasn't. He's not in jail for rape. He's in jail for, I think it's like aggravated. Here it is. Aggravated indecent assault.
Okay.
That's what he's in jail for. So it's not called rape.
All right, okay. Well, that's my fault then, but that's more so what I would probably consider. I think it's indecent what took place, but I think rape is something much more vicious and violent.
I just think that what you're saying almost implies that if I am a consenting adult and I know that I'm taking some sort of drug, and it's me and one other person, and I just feel like you saying it blurs the line, almost says that it blurs the line for consent, and I don't understand how that blurs the line.
What I'm saying is, let's say if we took a drug and it made us superhumanly strong, all right, and you and I both take it. Now we took this drug together. We probably gonna fuck some shit up while we fucked up, right or wrong.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's right.
I never said it was right.
That doesn't mean that it should happen.
I never said it was right.
It doesn't. But what I'm saying is, if it doesn't mean that you're consenting for me to fuck your house up, to go busting out windows, that doesn't mean that you are okay.
No, what I'm saying is
allowing me to do that.
Just because we took the drug and somebody winds up dead doesn't mean that we left out of the house with the intention to murder someone. So I don't think that we should be guilty of murder. We should be guilty of something else, but not murder, because that wasn't our plan. That's just what happened.
Yeah, but that's you gotta switch up the scenario. Yeah, but either way, you have to be responsible for your actions. So whether it's rape, murder, or whatever, you still have to.
You shouldn't be responsible for your. So you shouldn't be responsible for your actions on the other end, also, right?
Well, hold on, Eric. Because
wait a minute.
That's what I'm
trying to understand.
We talk about
that person takes their legal drug.
That's what I'm saying.
We talk about a lot of drugs that young people do.
Have to be responsible for getting raped because I took a drug.
You should be responsible for the drugs you ingest in your system.
I agree, if
you agree,
so then what does that mean?
But we're in an era where we always talk about where it's like popular drugs like ecstasy. Like we were talking about this earlier. Ecstasy is more popular in this era. Since it's popular, if a bunch of people are at a party popping X, that doesn't mean that they have to have sex. That's a sexual drug. That just because you take a drug that heightens you some type of sexually doesn't mean anything goes after that point.
I think that's a false narrative that ecstasy is a sexual drug. I think you should talk to people. I've been around many people that took ecstasy, and most of the time they ain't talking about fucking. They gritting their fucking teeth and drinking up all the goddamn water. That's what they usually doing.
But still,
That's what the fuck they be doing.
I've been around the same, and it goes 50-50. So, but what I'm saying is,
it doesn't mean anything good.
To be honest, any fucking drug. Because think about it like this: it's all subjective. Some people could drink get horny. Some people get smoke get horny. So it's almost like, you know, agreeing to get intoxicated with someone is not carte blanche contract for you to go fuck them.
I didn't say that.
How it works.
I didn't say that. I just only thing I said is that I think it's indecent. I think it's a crime. I just don't think it's rape. That's all I'm saying. When I think of rape, I think of something much more violent.
But rape doesn't have to be violent.
Tell y'all that's the issue. It's not always violent.
Rape doesn't have to be violent.
It doesn't have to be violent.
To penetrate someone against their will is not violent.
Yeah, no, because if they're drugged up,
they're drugged
up. Even if they're drunk and I'm not, right? And I penetrate this person without their permission.
So then what do you mean? So what do you mean not violent then? What do you mean? Maybe I don't understand what you're saying.
Just to enter someone's body.
You're referring to the sexual act as violence in and of itself.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Right. So if that's the case, then what's the difference between me, like, of someone taking a drug and they don't consent to it because they're high or doped out? I don't understand the difference. This is all
that's
I'm
true.
saying.
I don't understand the difference either.
This is all I'm saying. A person takes a drug and they're super inebriated. So they may either let their guards down or don't realize what's happening, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe that gives the window of opportunity for this creep to do that, right? That's possible. Right. But we also don't know that if this person takes a drug and this person takes a drug, we don't know what this person's behavior to the drug is going to be. That's all I'm saying. If we took this shit together, if we took this together, knowing that there could be some strange reaction and we may not know what the reaction could be, how could you really hold me accountable for something I may not even realize I did?
Hold on. Eric, it sounds like you're saying if we both take not me and you, if both different parties take a sexual drug, you cannot blame me for attacking you like a fucking caveman and making and fucking having my way with you.
Hey Chris, let's put it this way. Let's say me and you
if that's the case,
let's say me and Chris, listen, this happens all the time, y'all. Understand this. Me and Chris may go out drinking. Chris takes 10 shots, I take 10 shots. I ain't even fucked up. Chris take 10 shots, he want to fight. Does that really mean Chris is a bad person? Or does he really realize what the fuck is going on?
I'm still gonna be here.
This is the worst false equivalency ever, my guy. What the hell are you comparing right now?
I'm just saying that I don't think that
don't make no sense. Though what you
just
compared doesn't. I don't think it makes that shit make sense.
What I'm saying is, some drugs are so strong that it causes people to behave very differently. Sometimes out of their motherfucking mind.
So if you are drinking and driving, you don't believe that should be any type of murder or manslaughter charge? Because I'm asking.
But you see what I'm saying though? I chose to drink. I chose to drive. You get in a car, you kill somebody, right? Why don't they just call it first degree murder instead of calling it vehicular homicide? Why? Because they didn't leave out of the house with the intention to kill someone. They left out of the house to get drunk. They made a bad decision and kill somebody along the way.
But that's equivalent to like third. But that's also
there's a word for that, Eric. That's called an accident. That's an accident. You don't accidentally put your dick in people. Like that's an intent. That's a different fucking intent. How do you? No. Hold on. How do you explain unintentionally walking out your house and getting into a car accident? It's a fucking rape.
Because what you're saying is false. What you're saying is false. I did not accidentally take 10 shots. That's why I had the accident, Vic. I didn't have an accident.
It doesn't matter. No, that's not an accident. It's not an accident. An accident.
Of course it's not an accident.
But you're accountable for taking those shots.
Yeah. So she's not accountable. for
She
taking the
has to be
drugs.
responsible. She's responsible for the drugs that she takes, but why should she have to be responsible for you sliding your dick in her without her permission? That's the part that I'm struggling with.
Eric, if she's incoherent, you know what consent means, right? Consent means you're fucking ass.
I do know what consent
so
means.
If you have consent, you Gucci. If you don't have consent, you're not.
And I believe that if a person is out of their mind off of a drug, then I don't see how the lines of consent could even be established.
You wallet.
That's exactly the point. So you shouldn't do it. Like that's
what
exactly
if I don't
the point.
Not to do it is what I'm
then
saying.
You don't do it. The point is, if you don't know, if you have any level of ambiguity, don't do it. That's like
exactly
right. If you have any doubt, don't do it.
Right. So they'll just imagine somebody who can establish whether something is right or wrong at the moment.
Then don't do it. Because here's the thing: if you don't
say it done.
Okay, well, listen. There's some things that whether it's easier said than done or not, you can't do it. You cannot. I would never tell.
Drugs.
All right. Well, this should be.
Shit, the name of this episode should be what? Sexual consent.
I've told you guys. Listen, I've told you guys time and time again.
Arrogant rabbit hole.
That people. There are a ton of people that don't.
I'm just telling you what the real is.
And this was
I guess y'all have never seen a person on the street, walking up and down the street, scratching their ass, licking the ground. You think that person can establish what's right or wrong?
They still need to be held accountable.
Right, but if you are scratching your own ass, that's between you. If you're licking the ground with your own tongue, if you are licking the ground with your own tongue, that's on you. You need help. That's a completely different thing than now you just decided to take someone's crotch just because you're high. That's completely different. You just invaded someone else's body.
So what you're saying is that people can be on drugs and lose their mind completely and have no self-awareness.
But that doesn't mean that you can't be held accountable. That doesn't necessarily mean that you should have been doing it.
People can, and those same people can be arrested for rape.
Right, as they should.
There we go.
Those people have a defense.
Those people better have good attorneys if it so happens that they are accused of.
I'm just saying, just don't tell me it don't happen. That's all I'm saying.
You making it seem like
everybody said it doesn't happen. Nobody, I don't think any of us said
I'm just saying, people.
Happen, but
what I'm saying is, people take drugs and they have no idea of what they're doing. No idea of what they're doing. Yes, okay, you want to hold them accountable. But at that time, that moment when that person took that drug, they had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah, I think you're trying to end I think you're trying to end the conversation on an agreeable moment, and it just won't fucking happen.
It's not agreeable. It's not.
All right. Well, this should be interesting because I did want to ask you guys one more thing before we go. So Charlamagne the God is in the news.
Speaking of it.
Right. Speaking of rape cases, him and Kwame Brown were going back and forth at one point, and now some of Charlamagne's old issues are starting to creep back up and come back in the media. But it was also 15, 20 years ago. Do you think that it's still relevant today, or do you think that it's time for people to just say, it's something in his past and move on?
Relevant as fuck. You know what? I've did some research. I've looked into his court cases and the stuff that go on, and he really, even though he pleaded to a certain sentence, he still, in my opinion, she didn't get justice. In my opinion, for the things that he's being accused of, and it's a lot of dots that connect. And I don't think a time frame, even though by law in South Carolina, where he's from, there is no statute of limitations for that. So that can also be reopened maybe, but I think that they need to look at this a little bit more, because the things he's accused of, sexual assault with a minor, sexual rape of a minor. That's nothing to be light or to be played with.
Yeah,
I think.
Go ahead, Vic.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You got it.
What I was gonna say is, I think first of all, when you are in the entertainment field, you are automatically, in my opinion, putting yourself in a position to be ridiculed, to have your past looked into, whatever the fuck it is, whether you're an athlete, the media, an actor, whatever the hell. Once you're in that entertainment business, you need to walk into that business already knowing that whatever the fuck you've got going on in your past in your life can be dug up. That's number one. Number two, whenever you're in the entertainment business and in your place of business, you are highly opinionated and you yourself go after people, and that's the type of show you do. Fuck yeah, it's all fair game. So, it's all fair game, absolutely. And that goes for everyone. What in life, whatever's on your resume in life, all your fuck ups could come out. So you need to be on point. You need to really be able to defend yourself and understand what the fuck's going on. That's just period. That shit could happen, especially in this day and era where people just go online and research your whole shit in seconds. Yeah. It's easier done now, but absolutely you could be whole. It's his resume is who he is. Especially if some shit like, if you're not even a minor, you were an adult when you do shit, you're gonna be looked at as a fucking adult. It's just that simple. That's fucking life. It just is what it is.
I just want to say that I was a little bit disappointed after reading the story because it was my first time really hearing it. I mean, I heard about it, but I didn't really dig into the story, kind of like what Chris was speaking to. But a little bit disappointed in the parenting. I have a 15-year-old daughter, and no 22-year-old man can show up at my house and hang out with my daughter in no capacity. Secondly, if R. Kelly was to take a plea deal and get out of jail for delinquency or contributing to the delinquency of a minor, we'd all still call him a rapist. I don't see it being no different in this case. I mean, the dude's kind of predatory. What it looks like to me. So, and this is just what I know off of what's in the media. I've never interviewed this dude or spoken to him, but from what we've seen in the media and the court documents that Chris shared with us, some of the other stuff, I mean, what 50 Cent said on Power? He's guilty as fuck.
I'm already disappointed. I'm actually being nice right now. I've been looking at him like he's a fucking freak. Like just the way if you went through that situation, and I'm not gonna blame the parents because I hate doing that because I think that takes accountability off the predator because he was lying about his age back there. Even though he was 22, he was lying and saying he was 20, and he probably looked young. So I'll give her that excuse because she said she didn't know. But he's done a lot of creepy shit, and for you to be in that situation and still joke about it the way he does, like he's recorded on this podcast. We all heard it of him making a joke about buying some Spanish fly from the sex store and mixing it in the E&J and him and the girl drinking it and having sex, and she didn't remember. And she asked him in the morning, did me and you have sex or did I have sex with anybody else? And he joked about his cousins walking in and seeing her naked and saying they had sex with the girl. So it's just, if you're in that type of situation and you continue to joke about that, say many jokes, talk about it, just open in the media, I think that's real. That says something deep inside you. That makes me look at you like, yeah, you did that shit. And I hate to when it comes to like rape, especially with a minor and sexual assault like that, you want to be careful and not to place labels on people. But it's like, man, it's hard for me not to look at you a certain way after reading all this information. I'm not gonna lie.
And from what I read, it looked like they could bring up another charge, but they couldn't try him on the same thing. So we'll see.
Oh, I don't know what there's to see. There's no open investigation. But what I will say is I ain't comparing him to fucking R. Kelly. That's for sure. Now, did I see some absolute fucking weirdo behavior? Absolutely. The way he described the podcast where he was describing watching the R. Kelly video and but like very detailed, his level of excitement in that manner, that shit was weird as fuck. But other than that, man, I wasn't there. I don't know what the fuck happened. If he did what he did and he's guilty of it, then he should get whatever the fuck he has coming to him. But from what I understand, that shit's a closed case. It's a wrap.
Yeah. R. Kelly allegedly slept with 15-year-old girls. So did Charlamagne. Them niggas the same person.
And this is allegedly.
I'm not saying all that.
That motherfucker was 22 years old going to a 15-year-old girl house hanging out with her and shit. That shit is very R. Kelly-ish. The only thing that motherfucker ain't have, the only thing he ain't have is a whole lot of money and the promise of a record contract.
Not really, because if no, it's not. Because let me explain. Let me say something here real quick.
Maybe even worse.
Record. Because if that shit, and listen, what I'm saying is this: I'm not condoning none of this shit. I'm not condoning having sex with a minor or none of that shit. I got daughters. That shit is like there's probably nothing worse that you could be in the fucking world than a child abuser in any way, shape, or fucking form. But what I'm saying is to compare him to R. Kelly is a little bit overzealous because first of all, number one, that shit was a one-time thing as it's showing right now with his ass and what's going on with his case. R. Kelly has like 10 different cases, 12 different cases. So it's really not comparable. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Those two aren't comparable. And that's all I'm saying.
So let me ask you guys a question, just because I feel like I have to ask on, like, as devil's advocate. What if the mother is not telling the truth? Does that change things for you?
And I just want to say that, you know, he openly admitted to leaving the door open for other people to come in, and this person was unsure of who they had sex with. I'm almost willing to bet for some of the stories I've heard from just people in the projects. Man, they probably did some nasty shit. They probably
What project?
But these are two different issues, right? So I think we should keep that clear, though. These are two separate issues, right? They're not the same issue. Like when he's talking about.
But what I'm saying is he's opened himself up to a lot of things by running his mouth because he openly admitted on camera that, I mean, basically that's gang rape. If you leave the door open to other people to come in and get on or whatever the case is.
He also openly admitted to being drinking and drunk with her too. So by your logic, ain't he?
I was just thinking that. I was thinking that before.
You just said if he's really drunk and they both really drunk, and he said he was drunk, and she agreed to drink the Spanish Fly, so she agreed, right?
That was the 15-year-old kid. So
no, I don't know. That's what I'm saying to you guys. I think these are two separate situations because the audio where he's talking about the girl that he has sex with, that's not the same girl that he was because he talked about like it was like years later or something.
Oh, well, that's
I don't think those are the same. I don't think those are the same situation.
He said it was somebody different, quote unquote, but the stories are so similar.
In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah, and the girl even said, no, that story was about me. So he said it was for somebody else because he had a rape case, but the story is way too similar to his situation that he had. So
I knew what it was. That nigga mind was telling him no, but his body was telling him yeah. That's probably what it was.
I agree. It's different situations, but it's the same type of predatory behavior.
Same type of predatory behavior.
It was very archaic.
Preying on teenage girls. That's all I'm saying. The numbers might not be the same, but behavior is.
So judgmental.
All right.
So judgmental.
It's because we assholes.
I'm taking notes.
For the record, Eric still listens to R. Kelly.
Sometimes I do.
That's fucked up. Hell, look at me snitching.
Sometimes I do. No, I mean sometimes I do. I mean, I can't deny his musical genius. It's amazing.
That's why I said I'm taking notes.
The music is so great. I have to listen to it, but usually after listening to it, like after 2 or 3 songs, I kind of feel a little dirty. I be like, man, let me turn this shit off. Damn, I feel a little dirty. I be like, damn.
We know how you do, Reverend No Good. We know how you do, Papa.
Oh shit, man.
I love children. I coach children. I don't entangle with children. Hell no.
None of us do, and none of us condone that shit. Nobody's saying that. Just them other folks. And it's a Memorial Day weekend. What y'all got going on? Any plans? Are y'all chilling? Y'all chilling or barbecuing?
I got something for you, Vic.
I'm always barbecuing.
That's what I'm talking about.
I got barbecue on a regular day.
I'm ordering some barbecue, get some good tequila, and I'm on.
Girl now.
Hey,
I love you all, folks.
I do want to say happy Memorial Day to all the families who lost a loved one at war or while in service. We salute you guys.
Salute to y'all.
Happy Memorial Day. I know it's tough for some of y'all, but celebrate the life instead of the death. So that's a good word.
You know.
Good energy.
And as always, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Comment.
Please comment.
He loves comment back.
Comments. And I love your motherfucking opinions. Don't forget.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's what's up.
Even if they do both.
And until next time, we'll see y'all. Holler at y'all next week. We'll be back next week, first week of June. Holler at y'all. Y'all be safe.
Peace.
Have a good weekend, y'all. Peace.
Swiss Beats ain't shit.
Oh, damn.